Hey, it's 2030, and I want you to look around where I'm sitting right now. This home office, this life, 3 years ago, I could not have imagined any of it. Because 3 years ago, I was sitting in a completely different kind of office. A cubicle, under fluorescent lights, doing the same spreadsheets I'd done for 6 years, filing reports, managing calendars, responding to email chains that never seemed to end. I was a traditional administrative assistant, and I was really, really good at it. And then AI happened. Not slowly, not gently. It happened fast, and it happened in a way that genuinely terrified me. I remember the week I realized my job, the job I had built my identity around, was being replaced. Not in 5 years. Not eventually. Right then. I'm recording this video in 2030 because I know there are people watching this in 2026 who are sitting exactly where I was sitting. In that cubicle, under those lights, feeling that fear. And I want you to hear this from someone who lived it. You are not at the end of your story, you are at the beginning of it. My name is Maya, and this is how I went from losing my admin job to becoming something called a hybrid admin AI specialist. And trust me, when I first heard that job title, I had absolutely no idea what it meant either. So let me start with where I am now, because I think it'll help you understand why the journey mattered. A hybrid admin AI specialist. Think of it as the evolved, upgraded version of everything a traditional administrative professional used to do. Except, instead of doing those tasks myself, I oversee, guide, correct, and collaborate with a team of AI agents who do them with me. I manage what we call an AI admin stack, a coordinated system of intelligent agents that handle scheduling, correspondence, document processing, reporting, data entry, and workflow coordination. But here's the thing that makes my job irreplaceable. The AI can process. It can execute, but it cannot judge. It cannot read a room. It cannot understand that the CEO sounds frustrated in her voice message because of something that happened last week that isn't in any database. It cannot know that a vendor relationship needs a human touch right now. That's where I come in. I am the bridge between the intelligence of machines and the wisdom of people. And in 2030, that bridge is one of the most valued roles in any organization. But I want to be honest with you, getting here was not easy, and I almost didn't make it. It was early 2027 when things started to shift. The company I worked for, a mid-sized logistics firm, had been quietly piloting something called an agentic AI system. I didn't know much about it at the time. Nobody really told us. We just started noticing things. First, it was the data entry. We had a whole team handling shipment records. One Monday morning I came in, and half of it was already done. Automatically. Perfectly. Then it was the scheduling software. The AI started managing the executive calendar better than any of us had. It could predict conflicts before they happened. It could reschedule across 12 time zones in seconds. It never forgot. It never got tired. And then in October 2027, I'll never forget that month, my manager called me in and told me that due to operational restructuring, my position was being eliminated. I was 34 years old. I had 6 years of experience. I had performance reviews that were always glowing. And none of that mattered to a spreadsheet that showed the AI cost less and produced more. The next few months were the hardest of my life. I'm not going to dress it up. I cried. A lot. I second-guessed everything. I applied to 43 jobs in 2 months and got 4 interviews because every company was going through the same restructuring. The market for traditional admin roles had shrunk by almost 40% in 18 months. My savings were running out. My confidence was shattered. And I kept asking myself the same question over and over. What am I worth if the thing I'm good at can be automated? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Because if you're in an admin or office role right now in 2026, I think maybe you have. But here's what I didn't know yet, and this is the part I really want you to hear. The skills that made me good at my job didn't disappear. They just needed a new language. I found a community online, a forum for displaced administrative workers. People just like me trying to figure out what came next. And someone in that forum posted something that stopped me cold. They said, AI doesn't replace people who understand AI. It sounds simple, but it cracked something open for me. I started researching. I found courses on prompt engineering, how to write precise instructions that guide AI systems to do exactly what you need. I found courses on AI workflow design, on robotic process automation, on data quality oversight, on what they called AI agent management. And I realized these weren't skills for engineers or data scientists. These were skills for people like me. People who understood processes. People who knew how organizations actually worked from the inside. People who had spent years as the human connective tissue of an office. I was actually ahead. I just didn't know it yet. The learning was not easy. I won't pretend it was. There were nights I stared at a screen until midnight, trying to understand why my automation workflow kept failing. There were weeks when I felt like I was trying to learn a new language while drowning. I cried over AI, which is not a sentence I ever thought I'd say. But then, about 5 months in, something clicked. I built my first working AI admin pipeline from scratch, a small one for a freelance client. Automated their meeting notes, formatted their follow-up emails, sorted their inbox by priority, and generated weekly reports in seconds. The client looked at what I'd built and said, "This is exactly what I needed, and I don't know anyone else who could have made it feel this human." That was my turning point. Not because I had mastered everything. I hadn't, and I still learn new things every week. But because I understood my value in this new world. I wasn't competing with the AI. I was directing it, shaping it, giving it context, judgment, and purpose. Within 8 months of being let go, I had my first contract as a hybrid admin AI specialist. Within a year, I had 3 clients. And now, in 2030, I lead AI admin operations for a company of 400 people. But I don't want to just tell you about the outcome. I want to show you what the day actually looks like. 7 a.m., morning brief. I don't start my day checking email anymore. That's not how 2030 works. I sit down, and my primary AI assistant, I call her Aria, greets me with a voice-first morning brief. She's scanned overnight communications, flagged 3 items that need my attention, identified a scheduling conflict in the afternoon, and pre-drafted 2 responses for my review. I spend about 15 minutes reviewing what Aria has prepared. I adjust the tone of one of the drafted emails. The AI got the facts right, but missed the warmth needed for this particular client relationship. That's a judgment call. That's me. I confirm the adjustments with a voice command and move on. 8:30 a.m., agent oversight and workflow audit. My company runs 5 AI admin agents simultaneously. One handles vendor communication. One manages internal scheduling across global teams. One processes and categorizes incoming documents. One monitors compliance-related correspondence. And one, my most complex one, manages what we call organizational pulse data. Aggregated signals about internal communication patterns and workflow bottlenecks. Every morning I do a 15-minute audit. Are the agents performing within expected parameters? Have any of them hit edge cases they couldn't handle? Has anything been flagged for human review? Today, the document processing agent has flagged an unusual contract clause it couldn't categorize. It's correctly identified that this needs a human. I pull it up, review it, reroute it to our legal team with a quick voice note explaining the context. That took me 4 minutes. It would have taken an old-school admin half a day to find, identify, and escalate. 10 a.m., strategic meeting with leadership. I join a leadership meeting, not in person, not even on a flat video call. We meet in a collaborative AR workspace where documents, data visualizations, and live AI-generated insights float in the shared field between us. My role in this meeting? I'm presenting a workflow efficiency report that my AI stack generated overnight. But I'm the one who interprets it. I'm the one who says, this bottleneck looks like a data problem on the surface, but based on what I know about the restructuring last month, it's actually a communication gap between 2 teams. The AI gave us the data. I gave us the story behind it. Leadership nods. We adjust strategy based on my read. That's not something any AI can replicate yet. 12:30 p.m., lunch and learning. I protect this time. 30 minutes, no screens. The AI reads me a briefing, new updates to agent orchestration tools, a paper on emotional intelligence in AI interfaces, A note about a regulatory change affecting automated communications in our industry. Staying current isn't optional in this role, but I've learned to absorb it gently, not urgently. 2 p.m. Prompt engineering and agent training. This is probably the most creative part of my day. I work on refining how my AI agents communicate. Today, the vendor communication agent has been producing responses that are slightly too formal for one of our startup partners. I spend an hour adjusting its instruction framework, what we call the prompt scaffold, until the outputs feel right. This is craft work. It's not so different from editing a team member's writing style, except the team member is software, and the edits happen in real time. 4:30 p.m. Human moments. This is something I built into my schedule on purpose. Every day there's time for purely human connection. A check-in with a team member who's been stressed. A call with a new junior admin specialist I'm mentoring. A quick brainstorm with a colleague about something we don't have data on yet. The AI doesn't schedule these. I do. Because I believe, genuinely, that the most important thing I bring to my job in 2030 is my humanity. 6 p.m. End-of-day handoff. I do a 5-minute end-of-day debrief with Aria. She summarizes what was completed, what's pending, what the agents will monitor overnight. I give her any context she needs for tomorrow's priorities, and then I close the workspace. The AI keeps working. I don't have to. That's a Tuesday in 2030. Let me be honest about the numbers because I know that matters. In 2026, as a senior administrative assistant, I was making around $48,000 a year. Good work. Stable. But I was trading 45 hours a week for it, with very little flexibility, very little growth, and an increasing sense that I was invisible in the organization. In 2030, as a hybrid admin AI specialist, I earn between $95,000 and $115,000 annually, and I work about 30 to 35 hours a week. I have 2 days a week where I work entirely from a cafe or a park. I take real vacations because the AI agents keep things running while I'm away. But honestly, the income isn't even the biggest change. The biggest change is how I feel on Monday mornings. I wake up curious. I wake up feeling like what I do matters, and that nobody else could do it quite the way I do. After years of feeling replaceable, I feel essential. That shift, from invisible to essential, I cannot put a price on it. So here's what I want to leave you with. If you're watching this in 2026 and you're working in admin, in office management, in coordination or scheduling or data entry or executive support, I know the headlines are scary. I know the layoff stories are real. I lived one. But I also know something those headlines don't tell you. The skills you have built, the organizational intelligence, the people reading, the process knowledge, the ability to hold 10 things in your mind and know which one matters most right now. Those skills are not obsolete. They are the foundation of every high-value role in the AI-augmented workplace. The question isn't whether AI will change your job. It will. It already is. The question is, will you be the person who understands how to work with it? You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need to become a programmer. You need to be curious. You need to be willing to learn the language of these new tools, and then apply the judgment and wisdom that no machine has yet been able to replicate. Start now. Take one course on prompt engineering. Learn what a workflow automation tool does. Read about AI agents. Join a community of people making this transition. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, as long as you start moving. I lost my job, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Not because it was painless, it wasn't, but because it pushed me toward a version of my career that I never would have had the courage to build on my own. The future of work is not a place where humans are replaced. It's a place where humans who understand both people and technology become the most valuable people in any room. That person can be you. If this story helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it right now. Leave a comment below telling me what industry you're in. I want to know who's watching, and I want to help you figure out your own next step. And if you want a full breakdown of the exact skills, courses, and learning path I used to make this transition, I've put everything together in a free guide, linked below. You've got this, I promise. See you in the future.